OG History is a Teen Vogue series where we unearth history not told through a white, cisheteropatriarchal lens. In a famous oil painting, artist McGill Mackall depicts Mary Pickersgill, the woman most known for designing the Star-Spangled Banner in Baltimore to celebrate United States victory against Great Britain during the War of 1812. In the painting, Mackall included Pickersgill's daughter, Carolyn, and one of her nieces, who also helped design the flag that would go on to inspire Francis Scott Key to write the national anthem. Missing from the painting, however, is Grace Wisher, the 13-year-old black girl who was an indentured servant to Pickersgill and is often overlooked in the storytelling of the nation's most visual emblem, which has caused much contestation throughout history. Very little is known about Wisher, due to the nature of her indentured service to Pickersgill, which some have noted is not uncommon for those who were indentured during that time. What has been discovered is that she was a free girl in Baltimore, Maryland, when her mother, Jenny Wisher, entered her into an indentured contract with Pickersgill in 1810. According to the contract, Wisher was expected to learn the art and mystery of housework and plain sewing. Amanda Shores Davis, the executive director of the Star-Spangled Flag House in Baltimore, says that it is speculated that Wisher's mother entered her into the contract in an effort for her to learn a skill that she might not have been able to teach her herself. It seems as though Jenny wanted Grace to be able to learn a trade, especially as a free African-American girl, Davis tells Teen Vogue. It would have been important for her to learn skills that could carry her through the rest of her life. In addition to much of Wisher's biography being obscured, so is that of an unnamed enslaved woman who has been speculated to have assisted with the Star-Spangled Banner as well. Part of what complicates Mary Pickersgill's story was that she is a slave owner in Baltimore, Davis says. According to Sally Johnston, former executive director of the Flag House and a Mary Pickersgill biographer, a title for the house and belongings of Pickersgill only lists the sex and age of one enslaved woman and 3 enslaved young boys as mentioned. Wisher, however, was an indentured servant, not a slave. Additionally, Pickersgill's title notes that ownership was passed to her daughter, Carolyn, upon her death in 1857. Since 2014, the Star-Spangled Banner Flag House in Baltimore has sought to include what little information is available on Wisher in their exhibitions. Davis says they have transposed an outline of a young girl representing Wisher onto a plexiglass covering Mackall's original painting to ensure visitors are aware of her contributions. They have also included information about her in the small model that emulates the house where Pickersgill created the flag in 1813. Tours at the Flag House have also been updated to mention Wisher. In 2014, Michelle Joan Wilkinson worked with the Flag House to curate For Whom It Stands, an exhibition examining how individuals have used the flag of the United States for both pride and protest. The exhibition was housed next door at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, which documents Maryland's African American history and culture. Wilkinson, who is now a curator at the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture, NMHAC, included Wisher's story in For Whom It Stands, along with additional artifacts and contemporary artists whose works challenged the notions of the flag. A name like Grace Wisher, unless you're deep into the story about the Star-Spangled Banner itself, doesn't often come to the fore, Wilkinson tells Teen Vogue. That's why I think it's important that there's not a single narrative. There are things we think we know, but there's more we need to know. And certainly, Grace Wisher's life and her contributions should not go unknown. It should be acknowledged and presented in our historical displays about this era. Some notable artists included in the exhibition were Faith Ringgold. In 1970, Ringgold worked with 2 other artists to curate the People's Flag Show, in which artists were invited to display work that challenged desecration laws regarding the flag. Subsequently, she and the other 2 artists were arrested and fined, all the while maintaining that the flag and what it was intended to represent did not extend to all people. Presently, the national anthem, which, as aforementioned, was inspired by the creation of the Star-Spangled Banner, has become a topic of discussion after former NFL athlete Colin Kaepernick began kneeling during games in 2016 to protest police brutality and racial injustice. Many athletes from professional leagues to high school teams have followed suit. In June, White House correspondent April Ryan asked during a press briefing with Sarah Huckabee if President Donald Trump knew that athletes kneeling during games was not about disrespecting their flag, but rather about police-involved shootings that the country has yet to grapple with. Huckabee responded stating that the president was firm on his belief that standing for the national anthem is what makes our country special and unique and what sets us apart. The previous month, the NFL announced a policy www.washingtonpost.com web link, stating that players do not have to be on the field during the national anthem, but could be reprimanded by individual teams if they did not stand. The flag and the anthem are not the same thing, Wilkinson says. But because they're related in terms of these symbols of American identity, these are places where people are invested. Not only have symbols such as the Star-Spangled Banner and national anthem been used as a mechanism of protest, but quite arguably as a way for people often at the margins to locate where they fit into the American dream. There is still much to be discovered about Grace Swisher, with her indenture contract being one of the only found artifacts documenting her existence. Remembering people such as Grace Swisher and remaining in pursuit of piecing together her personal history, along with others, is a way to recognize individuals who, though often erased from history, have shaped the very fabric of our country. And African Americans are as invested as any other American and understand the potency of these symbols to call attention to issues that they want to see change in, she says.